Welcome back to IntyCenter, everybody, as we are winding down the 1993 campaign, and we've got another whip around Fadus. And we start by telling you that while it might not be the year of the Toad, it certainly was the day of the Toad, as Toad Ramsey absolutely shut down the bandwagoners with a complete game shutout. He gives up 8 hits, he strikes out 8, he walks 1. He also had 2 doubles as the Baby Yodas topped every city 3-0, with Clayton Kershaw getting the hard luck loss with 8 innings pitched, 1 run allowed on 8 hits. Paul Hines had a big day at the plate, and Madrigal picked up a big win. Hines had 4 hits, including a homer, and drove in 4 runs. Epirixie, and I'm going to be honest, I have no idea who the fuck Epirixie is, pitched well enough to win, and Madrigal takes it over the barrels 10-5. Elmer Flick had a homer, a double, and 3 runs batted in. That was about all Gales November got off Tom Terrific, who was otherwise terrific in a 7-4 Amazings win. A 5-run sixth, highlighted by a bases loaded, bases clearing double from Bryce Harper, sparked Amazings, and they win it 7-4. We posted this win probability chart in the thread. You can go check out the box score and the log yourself. It's a game worth watching. But a shack of their own led Let's Play 2 3-1 heading into the bottom of the 8th. Mark Grace hits a sac fly to pull Let's Play 2 to within 3-2. And Hank Aaron hammers a pitch 390 feet to put Let's Play 2 up 4-3. With 2 outs in the 9th, though, George Sizzler says, "We going, Sizzler." He hits a 2-run homer to put Shaq back on top 5-4. Only for Gabby Hartnett to hit a solo homer in the bottom of the 9th to send us to extras. And then, much like most of our sex lives, there would be a long stretch of no scoring all the way until the top of the 15th inning, when Harry Stovey would drive in Roy Parnell, fitting that he'd score, seeing as he's a new father in game universe at least, and he's probably not scoring right now. Anyways, let's not get into that too far. That run would hold up as Eric Gagne worked what I believe was his 78th inning of relief in that game. He does that one in scoreless fashion, just like the other 77, and a shack of their own wins it 6-5 in 15 innings. Now, as best I can tell, and please, narcs and fact checkers, check me on this one, the MLB record for most hits in a game without an extra base hit is 22 by the Dodgers in 1988 against the Reds. After I looked it up, that made the Demon Bag's feat of 10 seem less impressive. Lucky for them, though, they turned those 10 singles into 7 runs. They also got 8 2/3 innings from Slim Jones, who gave up 3 runs, only 2 of them earned on 8 hits to lead them to a win. Nomar Garcia Parra hit a sac fly on the top of the 9th to score Frankie Lindor to give the Enhancers a 4-3 lead over Game of Throws. But doubles from Joe Medwick and Pedro Serrano, Guerrero, I guess, to open the bottom of the 9th, tie the game, and 3 batters later, Dave Winfield hit a sac fly. That scores the winning run. Jon Snow knows something about beating pointy while he's in a tailspin. Game of Throws wins it 5-4. Warren Spahn tossed 6 scoreless innings for Sithy. He gave up 4 hits. He walked on. He struck out 4. But his biggest contribution might have come at the plate, where he hit a grand slam homer in the bottom of the 2nd off Steve Carlton. That stakes Sithy to an early 4-0 lead. They hold on and take the opener over the Pilots 5-3. Moving on to the 14th now, Bob Feller and Bullet Rogan treated us to a nice pitching duel. Rogan goes 7 innings. He gives up 3 runs on 6 hits. While Feller went 7, he gave up just 1 run on 6 hits. Roy Campanella homered for Amazings. They win it 3-2. Madrigal found some late inning magic to win another game as they close in on the Sandlot crown. Billy Hamilton singled, stole second, and scored on a single in the 9th to tie the game at 2. Then it was Hamilton once again, this time in the 11th with a 2-run homer to walk it off for a 4-2 Madrigal win. Walter Johnson, 9 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned on 5 hits. And Cliff Lee, 7 innings, 1 run on 4 hits. Both deserved better than no decisions. And Alex Rodriguez, 2-run homer in the 1st, paced a 3-run first inning for the Bandwagoners. But it was tied at 3 entering the 9th. 3 singles to open the inning, plated a run for the Baby Yodas, and Kirby Yates got a 1-2-3 9th on 6 pitches as Mandalore takes it by a score of 4-3. Denny Lyons had a 2-run single in the fourth as part of a 3-run inning as the Shack of Their Own beat Let's Play 2 4-2. Grasshopper Jim struck out 11 Steel Tiger Cranes as the Demon Bags won 6-2. Al Rosen homered, but the big story in this one was the Demon Bags getting 4 unearned runs in the third inning, an inning where they had 0 hits and yet they batted around. Here's how it happened. We promised you this in the thread. It's crazy. It starts with a Juan Soto ground out. After that, Cleveland's own Big Ed Delahunty walks, and Al Rosen reaches on an error by Joe Morgan. Big Ed scores on a wild pitch. Todd Helton draws a walk. Ketel Marte reaches on an error by Willie Wilson. That lets Rosen score. Helton scores on a Jackie Robinson ground out. Marte scores on another wild pitch. 2 more walks get issued, and then Jimmy Rollins, the 9th batter for the inning, flies out to end it. 4 runs, no hits, 2 errors, and batting around. Baseball. Somebody get a hold of Jason Stark and ask him about that inning. A 3-run homer from Hack Wilson highlighted a 5-run 7th inning for the Enhancers and powered them to an 8-5 win over Game of Thrones. Old Hoss does get the win, but he gives up 5 runs in just 7 1/3 innings of work. And despite the win, you don't get the feeling Pointy's feeling too confident right now. Hilton Smith did his part to try to keep Sithy's faint playoff hopes alive. He went 7 2/3 innings, giving up 1 run on 5 hits. Shawn Doolittle gets the ball in a 2-1 lead in the 9th inning. And on a ground ball that should have ended the game, an error from Stan Musial would let George Wright reach base and score Edgar Martinez to tie the game at 2. Pudge Rodriguez would single to score Wright, and the Pilots would take a 3-2 lead. But in the bottom of the 9th, Musial would score on a 2-out single from Brian McCann, and we would head to extra innings, but it would only delay the heartbreak for Sithy. Edgar Martinez hit the solo homer to put the Pilots back ahead. An RBI double from Pudge Rodriguez follows with an insurance run, and Doc White, he works around a 1-out Trey Turner double. He gets the save, and the Stone Temple Seattle Pilots take it 5-3 in 10 innings. On to the last set of games here. Reggie Jackson hits a 2-run homer in the 7th inning. Game of Throws come from behind to nip the Enhancers, who continue their September tailspin. The Enhancers now sit at a record of 4-10 in September and are 5 games under 500 since the All-Star break. On the other end of the spectrum, the Family Madrigal are red hot right now. They've won 11 of 14 games in September. They use a Jim Fogarty homer, 3 RBIs from George Gore, and 8 2/3 innings of 7-hit, 2-run baseball from Doc Ayers as they finish off a sweep of the barrels with a 9-2 win. Charlie Bennett homers twice. The Baby Yodas top the Bandwagoners 11-2. Bob Gibson wasn't great, but he was good enough. 7 innings with 4 runs allowed on 12 hits. Lefty Grove gets chased in the 4th inning, and Gales November avoid the sweep with a 5-4 win over Amazings. A 2-run homer from George Sizzler was the difference as a Shack of Their Own top Let's Play 2 3-1. Joe DiMaggio hit a 2-run homer in the first. Mule Subtle hit a 3-run homer in the third. Sithy never looked back. They get the our backs are against the wall win over the Pilots 6-2. And the last game we'll recap. Sandy Koufax, absolutely brilliant for the Demon Bags. He went 8 shutout innings, giving up just 4 hits. He struck out 7, though he did walk 5. Charles Johnson hit a 2-run homer, and the Demon Bags get that much-needed sweep of Ciorak to help juice their playoff odds. They win it 3-0. Before we sign off, congratulations to Baby Fiduce's favorite team, the Family Madrigal. They clinched the Sandlot division and become the first team this season to clinch a division. We must note, though, that noted Madrigal fan Ahsoka Tano commented, well, just wait until they don't show up in the playoffs, as always. That's going to do it for IntyCenter this week. We'll see you next time for another Whip Around Fiduce.